Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter and everything surrounding it. Um, Obviously, this all stems from the George Floyd murder, because it is a murder that we saw recently, which is horrific to see a black man killed once again in America by police who are supposed to be here to protect us. It's just ridiculous how in big 2020 racism is still around. Like my grandparents, great grandparents have obviously told me about their experiences with racism. You don't expect in 2020 for this sort of thing to still be happening. Like like I said, it's not just black people being killed. It's just people being obviously going for jobs, don't get the same opportunity in jobs, getting treated differently. So like I say, if there's a black man and white man going for a job, more time, the black man will not get the job just based on his color, which is ridiculous. Why have got a problem with someone just because their color is different to theirs? We bleed the same. We both have two legs, two arms, etc. So why can't we just all get along?
Yeah. So going off what he said, racism is still very much happening in 2020, which is a shame. Racism has been going on for a number of years now, and it doesn't seem to be improving or looking like it's coming to an end. I've seen lots of celebrities and social influencers, whatever you want to call them, on Instagram and other social media platforms saying that they apologise for things that they've said in the past, which were like racist comments or whatever. And I'm just getting sick of seeing it, because obviously you must have had those thoughts in your head for you to make the comments that you made. They're trying to say, oh, I'm a different person to what I was then. And the only reason why I think that they're speaking up on it is because they got caught. If they hadn't have been caught, then they wouldn't have said anything. So yeah, I'm just sick of seeing it, to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry, if you have said racist stuff in the past, there's no getting away from it. You obviously have in your heart. You obviously have some. You are racist in your heart. You can't just change just like that. You have a problem with maybe black people or maybe Asians, but you can't just apologize and think that people are just going to forgive you like that, because obviously you had them thoughts. So them thoughts can't just leave your head all of a sudden. And another thing I always see people saying, oh, but I've got a black friend, I've got a black cousin, or I've got a black someone in my family, or that doesn't make no difference. You can still be racist, because you could be smiling at friend's face, but you're going home with your family and still saying, oh, black, making black jokes, black this, black that. So sorry, I always hit that line. Is always hear that. Oh, I've got a black family member. My best friend is black. Yeah, so what? Doesn't make no difference. You can still be racist. And let's get it right. Not everyone is racist. Not every white person is racist. Because I know a lot of white people, or any other person. I know a lot of people.
And every race can be racist. It's not just whites against black.
No, of course not. It can be.
White people, black people against Asians.
Of course it can.
Whites against Asians. It's
definitely.
Not just
but obviously,
us
being black, obviously that's what we're focusing on. Obviously the whole Black Lives Matter thing, but obviously racism could be to any race, but black people seem to get it the worst, and for what reason I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame that all these years later we're still having to fight just for some sort of acceptance or equality in the world. I mean, me myself, I've got a bunch of friends who are of different races, and the one time I can say that I've experienced racism was when I was in primary school, and my primary school was full of different races. There was not more blacks than whites or more Asians than blacks or anything. It was literally everybody was mixed. And someone who was my friend called me the N-word, and I must have been about maybe 7 or 8 years old. And my parents told me about racism, so I knew what the N-word meant. I knew it was a bad word. And that came from my friend, so that really hurt. So I told the teacher, and I told my mom, and the school suspended her. But besides that occasion, thankfully I've never had any racial words said to me. Have you?
Me personally, I've never had no one be racist to me, but I've been racially profiled by undercover police. So I must have been coming back from a doctor's appointment, and I was walking up Southall High Road, and these 2 undercover police females got out and said I fit the description of someone that's just robbed a bank. It was so stupid. I was going to have my driving lesson. I was going to meet my cousin to have my driving lesson, and they said I fit the description of someone that robbed the bank because I was wearing Air Forces, I was wearing jeans and a body warmer. I was saying I just come from my dentist. I said you can call my dentist now and ask them if that, and they can tell you that I just came from the appointment. I didn't rob no bank, but they put me in handcuffs on the side of the road like some criminal. So you got cars going up and down thinking, yeah, another black guy has committed a crime. Like, you know, how everyone judges black people and thinks they're criminals and drug dealers, etc., etc. So I was on the side of the road like a criminal in handcuffs until my cousin came and was telling them he just come from a doctor's appointment. He's going to have a driving lesson with me, and then eventually they let me go. And my mum must have called the police station to try and complain, but nothing's going to be done about that. So, but personally, no one's ever racially abused me before, but I've had that one, which still hurt. Even though I wasn't actually racially abused, I was racially profiled just because I was black. Because I guarantee if that was a white person, for example, they wouldn't have been stopped. And they wouldn't have fit a description of someone that robbed a bank. So, yeah.
Yeah. It seems like, you know, the police just abuse their powers. I'm not saying all police are bad, because they're not.
No, all of them.
But a lot of police abuse their powers, which is unfair, especially towards black people in particular. You know, they just label us as criminals, thugs, gangsters, you know, hoodlums, all these sort of stereotypes black people are given, and it's just not fair because not all black people are the same. We're not all criminals, we're not all drug dealers or whatever other stereotypes.
Exactly, because you could have white people that are drug dealers, you can have Asians that are drug dealers, you can have it's not just black people that are into drugs and are into crime. It's all different colours, so you can't be just saying black people do crime and do drugs, because that's not the case. Obviously, another thing is people complaining about obviously you see all the protests that are going on. People are complaining about the protests, saying that obviously it's coronavirus, there's going to be a second spike of coronavirus. But when back in like a few months ago, when the coronavirus was at its peak, when people were going to Bournemouth Beach, Brighton Beach, having big gatherings in the park, they weren't really thinking about coronavirus then. But because us black people are doing something, we're trying to protest something, we're trying to stand up for our rights, people have got a problem with that. But I didn't have a problem with people going to beaches and stuff. I didn't hear no one complaining at people then. So that's another thing that's been getting to me.
Yeah. You know, like when the protests were happening, was it last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend. Yeah, it was last weekend.
You know, people were, you know, saying, why are the protests happening? Is it really necessary? Complaining because unfortunately horses were present at the protests and were getting caught in whatever madness was going on. However, if we fast forward to a few days ago, there was some far right people that were out in central London, not protesting. They wasn't protesting.
Looking for trouble.
They were just looking for trouble, and you know they were in the police's face, throwing things at the
Punching
police.
them.
You know, I think there were horses there as well. You know, the horses were getting caught in the drama as well, but yet they weren't labelled as thugs,
Not in the newspaper.
hooligans. Yeah, they were just labelled as protesters, I think. Whereas black people were just given a negative stereotype, unfortunately.
That's per.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, man, to see like people just being killed, like people being taken away from their families for no reason. Why do you just want to kill black people off? Like, why? What have we done so wrong that you just want to take us out of the world? Like, it's not right. It's not right. But like this generation is different to previous generations. I feel this generation are not going to stop protesting and not like making their voice be heard. They're going to carry on until something's done. Like, whereas back in the day, our grandparents, great grandparents, I'm sure that obviously they probably tried as well, but they didn't have the resources that we have these days with like social media, etc. So this generation are going to be pushing it and making sure that something is done about what's going on. We're not going to stand for it anymore, and we shouldn't have to. This is 2020.
Yeah, we shouldn't still be fighting for equality and justice. We should, you know, be in a place where we can have it. Also, in our conversation the other day, I was saying that I've seen recently a lot of people saying that they're going to support black-owned businesses, and which I think is great, and I would love to do the same, but I just don't know of enough to be able to do so. And also I said that we've been in this situation before where people have said, oh, I'm not buying from this retailer or this designer or that designer or whatever, but yet once the situation has died down, you then go back to that said designer or that said retailer that you said you weren't going to go back to. I also find that I don't feel like black people encourage each other enough to do well, and we don't support each other enough to succeed. We all try and find the negatives in a situation rather than saying, oh, you know, you've done really well at this. We'll find the bad things to say to bring that person down. And in my personal experience, I haven't, like when I'm out, for example, and I see another black female, it's very, 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 very rare that they smile at me. Like, I'm not someone that walks around with a smile on my face anyway. I have like resting bitch face most of the time, but if I'm smiled at, then I will smile at you, no matter your colour. But on the odd occasion where a black girl does smile at me, honestly, the happiness that I feel inside, like, you probably think it's so sad, but the happiness that I feel inside, I'm like, oh my god, like a black girl has literally just smiled at me. Normally, like, I just get dirty looks, and that's it. But it's nice when we actually compliment each other, even if we just say, oh, you know, your hair looks really nice, or where did you get I don't know, that top from or something, you know. It would just be nice if we could sort of build each other up more rather than just being negative towards each other.
Like my grandparents both have like told me stories about obviously when they first came to this country from the Caribbean, and there's two stories that stick out in particular. One, my gran told me she was at a bus stop with my great gran. They were waiting to get on the bus, and I think she said some white men were on another bus. My gran wasn't even getting on that bus, and they spat out the window and it went onto my gran's cardigan. But obviously, there's nothing she could do about it. The bus obviously drove on, but that's just disgusting. Why would you spit on another human being? Like, that's just that. When she told me that, like, I don't know what I felt. I just felt anger. Like, how could you spit on someone like that, on someone's clothing? That's the nastiest thing you can do to someone. So and then my granddad told me he was chased by some NF people, some NF men. He had to climb over like backyards and fences and that to get away because there was loads of them chasing him and his friends. So those two stories that stick out for me. So like, racism has been around for so long.
And it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
And it should have been getting better now, because obviously I live in London, where obviously there's loads of different races, but some people may live in certain areas where it's just white people, for example, and you may not see many black people. So that's why,
or
any other yeah. So they may not obviously they may not know, they don't know of anything else other than the people they're surrounded with. But still, they shouldn't have these sort of views. You should like people need to educate themselves. Like, if you're not educated, educate yourself. There's been people that have come to me recently and asked me like to try and educate them on Black Lives Matter, and I respect that. People that are trying to reach out to others to try and learn about what it means. Like,
but then my question is, if this whole situation didn't come about, would you want to educate yourself about Black Lives Matter?
It's true. It's very true. It's very true.
I could be wrong. Some people might genuinely want to know.
Yeah.
But
some people might be just doing it because obviously what's going on right now, you just don't know.
Why should it take this situation or these protests
for people to educate themselves?
For you to want to educate yourself.
Like, you should know. Like, there was an instance in this, I think it was Hoddesdon, this area. It was a white-based area, and some black people, I think it was some young girls and some females, they went down there just for a peaceful protest. And these people in the area caught wind, thinking that they were coming down to destroy their statue or something, or some memorial thing. And obviously, all these older men, they look like they're in their 50s, 60s, and obviously some younger men, they started hurling abuse at these females and these young children. Go back to Africa, we're happy George Floyd died, we don't like blacks, all this racism, all this racist talk to these some of them are young girls, maybe 16, some of them. Then you had some pregnant females, and you had some just elderly ladies, and they were just hurling abuse at them, throwing beer cans at them apparently. It's just disgusting.
And like, I see, for years now, I've seen so many videos on Instagram and Facebook actually, of these people in America. A black person could just be out minding their own business. They could be in a car park, they could be in a park, they could be anywhere, and you get a Caucasian person saying, you don't belong in this country, go back to your country, you shouldn't be parked here, this, that and the other.
Yep.
And it's like, what gives you the right to speak to somebody like that? You don't own the country.
Exactly.
Okay? You don't pay any more tax or whatever than a black person. You know, it's just not right. It just angers me so much when I see these videos on social media of white people getting in black people's faces saying you don't belong here. Honestly, if somebody done that to me, some of these people, these black people who are recording these white people are so brave. The first thing on my mind would not be to take out my phone and record you. I'm telling you now, I would knock you out. I'm not even going to swear, but I will knock you out, because there's no way that you have any right whatsoever to speak to me or anybody like that.
And more time, the person they're talking to was born in this country. I was born in this country. You can't be telling a black person go back to the country, because 9 times out of 10 they're born in this country. So we have just as much right to be in this country as you do. We were born here. You were born here.
Sometimes these people don't even know where they.
Sometimes they might not even be from here, but they want to tell me to go back to my country. You need to go back to your country, because you might not be from England, so you can't come and tell me that. I was born in England. My parents were born in England, so I pay tax just like you. So yeah, that's very stupid.
Yeah, it's just so silly why people feel the need to go to such lengths to tell people that they don't belong in a country, or that they shouldn't be in this shop.
Disrespectful.
You know, something so small. You know, I don't think these people actually have a life, that you feel the need to go out of your way to say these things to people. It's just ridiculous.
I'm just gonna end it on another just one more thing. People that are saying all lives matter, yes, all lives do matter, but until Black Lives Matter, then all lives will matter. Okay, because our life don't seem to matter to certain people. So once all black people's lives matter, then we can start saying, everyone will start saying all lives matter. Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, yeah, but all lives matter. Yes, they do, but at the moment, our lives are not mattering to certain people. So once we are being appreciated, then we can start saying all lives matter. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll try and get back to you.
And no hate, please.
Yeah, just spread love.
Just a general video.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.